Now, may I call upon Mr. Harinderjit Singh, former audit partner and head of National Technical Function and Regulatory in Pricewaterhouse India. Mr. Singh is also the former chairman of the Auditing and Assurance Standard Boards of ICAI. Archana, can you please come and, I again lost her. Can you please come and welcome Mr. Singh on behalf of True and Fair? Sir, kindly share your thoughts on audit quality today.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind introduction. Good afternoon. And again, happy CA Day. You know, auditing is a very emotional subject for me. I've been, all my life I've been doing auditing. And therefore, I thought I should not get emotional and go astray within the time limit. So I prepared a small speech for all of you, which nicely sets up the context of the panel discussion which will follow. And I am also very eager to hear what the participants are going to talk about in the panel discussion rather than me speaking. But anyway, I have certain remarks to make on the present situation of the auditing profession. And I must say that we are going through some challenging time. There is no doubt about that. And there are certain factors which have led to this. One factor, very important factor, is that in last 10 to 15 years in India, we have witnessed corporate failures of very high profile and high magnitude. And that has led to increase in and evolving laws and regulations. Some of them, people say, were knee-jerk reaction to the whole thing. Dealing with, the auditor has to deal with multiple regulators with overlapping jurisdiction. Certain adverse court and disciplinary proceedings have gone against the auditor. There has been resignations of independent directors and the auditors. The stakeholder information requirement has gone up. And here we have to be very careful. We are not only talking about shareholders. We are talking about the wide range of the stakeholders. And of course, as Mr. Haldia also talked about, the non-finance information is also going up. All this is adding up, whatever I just said, to widen the expectation gap. You must have heard this term very often, and the truth is that there is an expectation gap. But whatever factors I've told you has widened that expectation gap. There was a lot of mention of NAFRA, and I want to go next level to what Dr. Haldia said, that every audit they have picked up, they have come out with deficiencies. What are those deficiencies? They are practically covering the entire process of audit. So whether it is the planning, whether it is the execution, whether it is the completion or reporting, NAFRA has had in their report said that there have been, these audits have been deficient. Going into little more detail on what those deficiencies are, and this is where I would like to hear the panel later on, and we will talk about how ADOC, which is the documentation tool, will cover those deficiencies. So it could be relating to compliance of Companies Act and standards of auditing. quality management systems, independence, non-audit services, risk of material misstatement, related party transactions, professional skepticism, external confirmation, professional misconduct, materiality, documentation, reporting of fraud. As of 2 days back, NEFRA has come out with a circular which is very onerous as far as the auditor is concerned on what its duties are for reporting of audit, right? Needless to say, so these are just some examples, and we'll see in our panel discussions how much we cover that, how the documentation covers us in that. Needless to say, the penalties are very high. I mean, high to the extent of unimaginable. This country has never seen those kind of things, like banning of the audit firms, penalties going up to 1 crore, etc., etc. So the audit profession, keeping all this in mind, the audit profession therefore has no choice but to transform itself. I'm reminded of Sarbanes-Oxley Act when it came post-Enron in US. Many people left the audit profession and went towards compilation, went towards AUP procedures, but they came out of the audit because they said they cannot deal with the regulators' expectations and the stakeholders' expectations. I think we are at a similar cross point in India, that people have to make up their mind if they have to remain in the auditing profession, then the only way to do is to comply with standards of auditing, laws and regulations, and what NEFRA is telling us, what is their expectation from the auditor. Now, where does this all lead us to? It definitely leads us to improving the audit quality in the firm. There is no doubt about that. And there are some examples I can give on how this audit quality in the firm can improve. Let's start from the top, the leadership. As we were discussing, many people think that the people at the junior level don't want to do the stuff which is required in standards of auditing. Here is the role of leadership which comes up. And I mean tone at the top. How do they drive that throughout the organization, that if we have to remain in auditing profession, this is important? How well we train them so they can meet the requirements. Adapting, Dr. Haldia talked about adapting to the new technology is very important, because it cannot happen that our clients are adopting artificial intelligence, blockchain, analytics, and the auditor is still doing a traditional audit. It cannot happen. Definitely, we are leading ourselves towards audit failure. So we have to train ourselves to these new technologies. Talent management, HR practices is very important. We have to attract the best and the brightest to the auditing profession. And the only way to do that is, again, the leadership believes that we need to have the best talent, maybe pay them the best remuneration to attract these people. So this is very important. Methodologies, consultations with the experts are also very important. Monitoring system, how do we correct our organizations, our systems, policies, and procedures, where an external agency, it could be peer reviewer, it could be NFRA, it could be quality board, if they have pointed some deficiencies, how do we correct those in our systems is something with. And last but not the least is the documentation. In our firm, we used to say that if it is not documented, it is not done, right? And this is what is coming true from all those inspections which are happening. If you have not documented your work, there is no evidence of that, you're surely moving towards a deficiency in the audit. So that is the context I wanted to set for our subsequent discussion. Now, a word about Balaji. Balaji and I have been attending meeting for at least 10, 15 years together in various committees. And I'm very happy to note that Balaji and his team are not only passionate about their subject, but determined to make change in the audit profession. And therefore, I agreed to join as an advisor to true and fair professionals, and to give my 2-bit whenever asked for. Also, I am looking forward to their new tool after ADOC, which is called ADAT, right? Which is going to be a technology-based tool which links the controls, risks with the procedures. It's like you can think like a mini ERP of an audit software. I'm really looking forward to that software. So with that, best wishes to all of you. I am looking forward to the rest of the program. Thank you very much.